Welcome to the Reflective Practice module, where we will be discussing how to use reflection to maximize your facilitator portfolio. In this module, we will introduce you to portfolios and facilitating philosophies, as well as show some samples from previous facilitators and program assistants. Next, we will discuss reflective techniques and models, and how you can use them in your own writing. Finally, we will go over a short reflection activity, where you will have the opportunity of writing your own facilitating philosophy. So, let's begin. What are portfolios? A portfolio features materials that highlight a variety of experiences and skills that are featured in your resume. Some of the items that you may include in your portfolio are a current or updated resume, your facilitating philosophy, session maps, and session plans. Now, what is a facilitating philosophy? A facilitating philosophy is a statement that expresses your values and beliefs that guide your facilitating practice. It provides a great opportunity for reflection and self-assessment. Still uncertain as to what a facilitating philosophy is? Don't worry, we have some samples from previous facilitators to show you. Feel free to pause the video at any time to read through the two facilitating philosophies. As you develop your own facilitating philosophy, we encourage you to keep these questions in mind. Why do I facilitate? What is the primary goal I have for my students? What improvements could I have made to my facilitating style? How does facilitating help me in my own academic career or personal life? To help provide some structure to your facilitating philosophy, let's discuss some models for reflection. There are two common models, the Deal model and the Driscoll's model. The Deal model stands for describe, examine, and application to learning. The Driscoll's model contains what, so what, and now what. Let's further break down the models. The describe or what component is the description or explanation of what was done. The examine or so what component is the critical evaluation or relevance of what was done. Finally, the application to learning or now what component is where you would make any conclusions or applications to future learning based on your experience. Let's return to the facilitating philosophy examples we just saw and see how you can apply the reflection models to this piece of writing. Feel free to take a moment to identify the describe, examine, and application to learning sections in this facilitator philosophy. Alright, here is the facilitating philosophy broken down into the Deal model. Let's look at the describe section, where we are trying to state the description of the activity that was done, in this case, facilitating. Some key words to note here are the use of words like differs from, provides, the aim, and the goal. This facilitator is accurately describing what an FSG is and what the role of a facilitator is. Let's look at the next section, the examine section. Here, the facilitator is providing evidence as to why these facilitated study sessions are effective and how they will improve a student's performance in a course. Here, the facilitator is explaining why FSGs and why facilitation techniques are important. Finally, let's look at the application to learning section. The facilitator states that they have seen the benefit of FSGs firsthand, and their application to learning is implementing their own study groups that style FSGs to help their own academic career. Let's look at the next facilitating philosophy example. Take a moment to try to identify the describe, examine, and application to learning sections here. Here, we have identified two sections, the describe and the examine section. Let's look at the describe section. Again, we see words like my goal or a facilitator's role is being used to describe what an FSG is. In the examine section, the facilitator is explaining their facilitating approach and why it is effective. You will note that there is no application to learning section. The way you structure your facilitating philosophy is entirely up to you. Some sections can be lengthier than others, or you may choose to present the information in a different order. However, we do recommend that you typically have a describe, an examine, and an application to learning component to produce a strong piece of reflective writing. You might be asking yourself, why follow a model for reflective writing? Well, reflective practice works because it follows an academic model. There are formal conventions for reflective writing. The models for reflective writing allow for any discussion or explanation to be supported with evidence. Finally, the models serve as a starting point and provide some direction in beginning the reflective writing process. Now, as a facilitator, what does reflection look like for you? Here are some questions to keep in mind as you build your portfolio. What is the basis for your portfolio? Describe what your portfolio looks like. Why does your portfolio look like this? Can you defend your rationale? How will your portfolio prepare you for your future academic or career goals? What is your facilitating philosophy? Describe it and explain why you've chosen this approach. How will this approach help you moving forward? Finally, what is the purpose of a session plan? Explain it. Link it to the course you facilitate. Defend your approach. Use evidence to support your decision. Provide an example of a long-term goal. How will this session plan direct your future approach? Now, we have discussed what a portfolio is, what a facilitating philosophy is, as well as 2 models for reflection. We have also discussed some prompts for writing your own facilitating philosophy. Now, let's combine the 2. Pause this video and take a couple of minutes to compose a short writing piece, about 100 to 200 words, that addresses an experience that you have had as an FSG leader. Describe a session you have led or a training session that you've attended. What did these experiences look like? What did you do? Link either experience to the goal of your FSG training experience. What did you expect when you volunteered as an FSG leader? Has this expectation changed over the course of your role as an FSG leader? Consider the entire experience and how it can impact your personal and academic path. What potential impact will the entire experience have? Take a couple of minutes to complete this activity. Done? Great! Now let's wrap up with the steps to completing your reflection. Use the guided questions outlined on the 2 previous slides to begin writing your facilitating philosophy. Explore the 2 PDFs titled My Facilitator Portfolio and Fundamentals of Reflective Writing that are included in this module and see how sample reflection is evaluated. Finally, make sure you attend and bring your writing piece to one of our in-service workshops titled Reflection Retreats. For the dates and times of the reflection retreats, be sure to check the announcements on Quarkus for more information. And this is the end of the Reflective Practice module. Thank you for listening.